the spirit to move forward. If you don't have this in a company, it's a very short term that you are still on the market.
The question is, where do they meet? Because we are introducing automatization and we are quite used to it, but we did not meet there yet. And you see the artificial intelligence in the future, which is not just a term, but you see it in every single process. And what do you say? Like 2/3 of the jobs will be.
Hello, Philippe. Hello, Olivier. Thank you for accepting the challenge and the invitation to be part in this, I would say, 3-party premiere of the ITalks podcast. Thank you.
Thank you
Good
for the
afternoon,
invitation.
Shaba. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I was saying that it's a 3-party premiere for us. Why? Because this is the first time when we do an English edition of ITalks podcast, so that's going to be challenging for us, but I'm sure that we can deal with that with no problem. Second premiere is the fact that we are launching by this podcast also a more professional look of the podcast. It's called the Business Champion, when we focus on a company, not on an individual. The individual podcast is called the Life Hero. And the third premiere for us is that it's the first time when Metigla is here in an ITalks-Studio. So thank you for accepting our challenge. And I'm sure that this is not actually a challenge for you, because Metigla is known for accepting challenges and going into hard games and making sure that you gain significant results in that.
Yeah, we only can approve that part. Yeah. We consider everything I do consider quite a lot as a game. It's not a game, it's more a sport. And we try to do our best. We try to win, and sometimes we lose. And then we find the courage again to start and to go to another game, another match, that's the way I look at it. Yeah. So we include that in one of the games we are following often.
I always say that in our market, because we work in the same market in the construction business, you're also covering residential areas and also industrial. I work for a company, Prisomat, who's doing the industrial buildings, industrial halls. And some people sometimes ask me, like, what do you think about your competitors? Like, I don't find them competitors. I don't look at them as competitors. I look at them as co-players in the same game. Because the market is big enough, and whoever comes up with better ideas, faster ideas, more efficient ways or more innovative ways will win the hearts of our customers.
Just step by step. Yeah, it's a nice game, a good game, and you win some, you lose some, but the game is.
But you always learn some.
Definitely,
you always
without
learn
any
some.
doubts. Yeah.
Gentlemen, for this podcast, I don't know if you are familiar or not. We had a short discussion before our podcast, but nevertheless, it's organized on 3 parts. In the first part, I want to discover more about Metigla. So I identified 9 points, 9 moments, 9 turning points, 9 landmarks maybe from your company existence and journey until now. I named them specially, mysteriously, so by just looking at the titles, you will, I hope you will not be able to tell what is behind it. So you kind of will choose in blind, and you will have the chance to choose 3 topics, and we will discuss them. I have the questions for them, but what you will say, I do not know. So that's a challenge for me and a mystery for me too. That's the first part, so discovering more about Metigla. The second part, we want to get inspired by you. Why? Because that was your homework, to prepare an aha moment, a moment when you realize something but changed your life, you changed your mentality, changed your behavior maybe towards yourself, towards your family, towards the company, towards the business environment. So it's up to you. I do not know what is your aha moment, so I'm curious about that. And after we went through the second part, which is inspiring you via the aha moment, we will go to the third part, which is learn from you, because you're in business, Philippe, more than how many years?
Yeah, many years. Let's speak about.
I'm talking about the business experience, not your age, of course.
since I have to think about it. 78.
78.
And
So quite some time.
it's quite some time. So also I'm at the end of my professional journey, but nevertheless we are very still inspired by that. And in Romania itself, I'm since '94 quite actively coming on a very often and repetitively basis here.
You know Romania pretty well, and you love Romania very much.
Yeah, we have been working pretty hard, I have to say. So we know a bit, but mainly in our environment we have been active in. So
exactly. And Olivier,
interested in it. Yeah.
Olivier, you are his son. You are working for the same company, and that can be also challenging and also rewarding, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely. At the moment, more rewarding than challenging, but it's definitely challenging. It's not just a father-son relationship anymore.
Oh, okay. I'm looking forward to learn about that, maybe in the discovery moment or in the inspiring moment, or when you pass from your experience, business experience or life experience, because on the third part, I have prepared 7 or 8 business situations where I invite you to give your 50 cents, your advice, your recommendation to a company who's facing that particular situation. So, gentlemen, I suggest to dive into the first part. Not the third is I was thinking about the third. What are the 7
I'm
topics?
curious about the questions.
The questions or the topics are what I identified are 9. Usually we do 7, but I was looking at your journey and I found so many good things. So out of the 20, 30 good things, I narrowed it down to 9. They are not in chronological order. I especially shuffled them. So it's not about beginning and today, the last one. So the first one is called Sailing in the Unknown, the North Star. Second, From Dust to Destiny. Third, Project Prometheus, Stealing Fire from the Gods. Fourth, Phoenix Rising, a new chapter. Fifth, Sailing in Two Rivers, Where Do They Meet? Sixth, Echoes and Origins, A Tale of Two Visions. Sixth, From Ashes to Stars, The Unseen Journey. 8, The Horizon, A Limit or an Invitation. And 9, New Compass. We can start with whatever you want, whichever you want. You can decide together, or we can have a special rule. First one will be chosen by Philippe, and the second by Olivier, and the third by the other way around. But it's up to you. Which one do you want to start?
Yeah, I'm reading this 3 pages of your story. I'm a little bit surprised by the subject because honestly, I don't recognize.
So I did my job well.
If that's the purpose, you did your job well. Huh? So let me. I just choose
whatever
one.
You want.
I go.
They are all good ones.
All good ones. Sailing.
Challenging, but good ones.
Sailing in two rivers. Where do they meet?
Sailing in two rivers. Where
Number
do they
5.
meet? Number 5.
I'm curious why you were laughing.
Oh, that's a good one. And I really like that you have chosen this because it's about investments in automatization, but not losing the humans in the process. And I have here a quote from Cristian Mateșelu, who said that never through our investments in digitalization or automation have we considered the possibility of laying off those who work with us. On the contrary, we actively invest in programs that promote our colleagues from within the suitable positions. I know that Metigla introduced automatization as every company in, I think, globally, or at least considering, and you have introduced automatization. How did you manage to save the human soul and your workers and the relationship with your clients throughout this process?
Yeah, it's an unexpected question. And of course, we have been focusing on production and certainly on introducing automatization into our company. And so we are from original we are we are Belgians from origin, so we are coming from an environment where there's a lack of people, where also salaries are respectively high. So where we always had to look for added value in order to justify a production in our environment. So by deciding to come to Romania in the end of the 90s, so with a greenfield in the beginning of 2001, 2002, from day one where I was involved, I also wanted to introduce the same philosophy, even in, at that time, a rural environment like Septura. And because I'm a strong believer that if you want, we are more directed on long-term objectives and projects, and long-term means also to bring added value, to be faced with salary increases, to make sure that we get that people, because a country can only increase if there is a buying power being created. So, and very automatically we were looking at the automatization, not to replace people, but to also to improve. Because if they only don't get acquainted with this automated environments, yet sooner or later we will be out of the market. And it doesn't make, if you are in Belgium or you're in Romania, I think it's all going all over the world the same. So we want to be from day one to be involved in this direction, including the value of the person, because you can have all the machines. Even for me, quite a new subject is the artificial intelligence. So I have my age in order not to understand it well, but I'm surely convinced that the human being still will be mastering that part. And that's what the same with at our time when we introduced robotization and automatization. Yeah, we remain at the end of the day, the manpower and the man's brain is going to be determined how you use it well, how you keep it well ongoing, etc., etc.
Studies show, the other day, yesterday, I was listening into a podcast, a very smart person from HubSpot and Zapier, the CMOs from those companies, were talking about the fact that the latest studies made by some very famous universities, forgot them, Oxford probably was one of them, show that in 10-year time span in the future, probably 2/3 of the current jobs on average will be touched, impacted more or less by automatization and AI. So there's a future which is coming towards us. We like it, we don't like it, but that's the trend. And there are some movements which we probably cannot stop it, and it makes no sense to swim against the current, rather ride the wave than try to ditch the wave. Olivier, what is your position regarding automatization in the light of the future? Where are you heading?
I'm referring a bit to the sailing into rivers and where do we meet. Metigla, which is a very strong point, we have 100 people. We are together with a team of 100 people, which have an average age of 37 years, which is quite young, but which also have 10 years experience in the company, which is quite a lot. And you say sailing into rivers, with what we see now I think in the last investment round we did over the last 4 years. We did a lot in automatization, but you see now the match sailing into rivers and where do they meet is you have the experience, you need to work, you need to be walking, you need to be managing your hands, you need to be doing something, comparing to now the automatization is the robot, the machine needs to work, the systems needs to work well, the data needs to be well registered, and the people needs to fill it in good and see that it's working. So it's you see like the combination of experience together with the new way of working. It's in our case a very interesting fact, and the question is where do they meet, because we are introducing automatization and we are quite used to it, but we did not meet there yet. And you see the artificial intelligence in the future, which is not just a term, but you see it in every single process. And what do you say? Like 2/3 of the jobs will be not going away, but impacted. And then, yeah, we need to be upfront, and I think we are quite upfront. So we are not just one of the companies in the world, but we are Metigla, and we have our own identity. And it's quite a challenge to manage the long-term experience. However, with young guys, the long-term experience with they have within the 23 years of Metigla being, and I think 6 or 7 people are still there from the start. Match them now with the new way of working, and in the future it will be even more challenging because you don't learn this in the books.
No, we are learning by sailing these waters, uncharted waters. The other day, I think yesterday, the congressmen from US met with the AI tech giants to learn about AI because they want to think of it to regulate or not to regulate, but it's their policy, is not our topic. But even they are interested and think of it that this is not going away. This is not just another hype. It's here, and it's already almost mainstream in many domains. But what you're saying, it's not, I know, because I know for quite some time, Metigla, I know that you really mean it when, Philippe, you were talking about the fact that it's a process and you introduced and you don't want to lose people in the process. But nevertheless, I believe that by nature, humans are trying to maintain a nice working status quo. So every time when something new happens, there are maybe some ideas, but what is my job secured? They are telling to me that it's secure, but how is the morale? How you tackle the human soul in this process and not to lose it?
Yeah, it's a question. In fact, I don't consider it a question because we really want to do it a natural way. So we try to expand our activity, and by expanding applications, by expanding product types and so on, just to increase volumes. At the end of the day, it's volumes, and also to justify the investments. But at the same time, we try to organize ourselves so that people can get educated. It's quite a challenge. We sometimes underestimated it. We also think that the process is shorter than we experienced it, but we really believe in it, and we are very full of confidence that for sure these people we have today in our environment, that we will maintain we hope to be able to. We are sure, we have proven it for 23 years. We have fortunately never had to sack people because we replaced them by robots. No, we were finding other applications, other added values, other services, and because today in our environment, it's not only producing a product, but there is a lot of servicing around it, by where dealers don't want to have stock products anymore. They want you to do the shipment of their individual sales. So it's a logistic environment. So there's more than enough challenges in order to reassure that everybody will find this objective and should find this satisfaction in his job. But yeah, there is some agility needed, and that's no way. I think everybody should be there should be a consciousness about it, that flexibility and agility is needed. And so when I was a young person, many people started a job and really the intention was to end up their whole lifetime in this. I think today we cannot expect that anymore. We don't know what to expect in 10 years, what will be the added value that the customer is asking, but we should be open to these changes, and to be aware and to be interested. If you're already interested to the new changes, it's already an openness to continue on that pattern.
I would like to dig a little bit deeper on this subject. You already mentioned one important element. You learned that the process takes longer than you expected. The digitalization, automatization than foreseen at the start of the project, for example. Are there any other lessons what you learned and you are open to share with everyone? Because probably some things you want to keep yourself, because that's the competitive advantage, huh?
I need to reflect a little bit about it. But fast thing, I think you were ending it. You need to be inspiring. You need to lead and inspire the people also to see that they can have an added value aside of the automatization. because at the end, machines will still not work as automatic as we all want. It will come. However, we need to master them in one way or another, and to be inspiring for the team and be the good leader, to get them on the train, and then to see that step by step you can show changes and that they believe in it.
And they are probably part of the change too, like working together with them, finding the best automatization processes to do automatically.
Yeah, today, nowadays, it's not like in the past, I think. One person could say, and the boss and the rest, but nowadays, I'm 31 years old. I'm actually already an old generation related to the understandable artificial intelligence, because the artificial intelligence is actually nothing new.
No,
It's already
it's
10
been
years.
here 30 years.
Yeah, but
30 plus.
and I think they just now made it user friendly.
Exactly.
And we start to understand a little bit what's behind. But I'm already from the old generation, so where in the past you needed to learn a lot from your father only, and that's still today. But nowadays it's also from the other side that we can learn and inspire each other. And I think, yeah, we need to be open for new opinions and to learn from each other to be as strong as possible in the future.
But if you want to go a little bit deeper, I'm coming back to your question. Yeah, and about the process being longer than what we all want. Yeah, we are in an environment where we are buying a concept, we are working for a new equipment. A lot of this, it's quite a lot still has to be developed. They are one-off machines, they are one-off programs for your product you want to identify yourself with. So if I can share one of my experiences, yeah, those are not machines that you buy and they arrive on the 1st of January and the 2nd of January you are behind the steering wheel. So, you need to get to acquainted with this machine. The machine is reacting on a product that you want to form in our case, or you want to punch. It's going to react differently. There are quite different factors who can make the result of a product, and everybody has to learn to get used to it and to make, but there must be a soul in this team in order to make a success out of it. And if you expect a machine to do it, well, then you're on the wrong side of the table, because at the end of the day, is the person who is going to use, how to use, who is getting acquainted, who is getting connected to this machine, because at the end of the day, it's needed. And you can have this, none of the machines who at once will do what you had in your mind and what you had in your expectations. Huh? Mm-hmm.
Especially in your case, you have very special products or special processes or different processes, what is unique for you. So every machine has to be adapted to your shoe size. It's not one size fits all.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. That's very optimistic, and I like that we are ending at least this topic with this, that the human soul needs there and human mind needs there, because machines can do what we ask, but not without the human touch. From the beginning to the end, there has to be, and it is good to be the people involved also.
And the soul of the human person, not only the human person, the humanity, but also the soul of it. It's an important thing. And that's the reason why we also dare to use in our slogan the word passion, because that's a little bit acquainted to this topic.
Good
Absolutely.
link. Yeah, good
Absolutely.
link.
Your motto is... the company motto is?
Smart covering, simply passion.
Exactly. Smart covering, simply passion. So there is also a passion. I know that I'm a little bit prolonging to the switch to the next topic of your choice. And I would like to go a little bit on the fact that you not only focusing and thriving and doing everything what you can to deliver the best possible products and services for your customers, but you also give back to the community. You already mentioned the fact that you wanted to bring added value to Ceptura by coming to Romania, with mindset, with technology investment, now also automatization, but you also do a lot of CSR, corporate social responsibility. You found a lot of interesting projects. Which one is your love project? I mean, I know that all of them are important, but for some reason you have a special inclination or the last one, what you were involved, for example. Let's put that way. Don't.
We're definitely very close to a stroke of happiness, which is educational for youngsters, let's say, and to inspire them, to teach them already 7 competences that we sometimes, even when we're very old, or we can learn a lot from them: public speaking, mental health. That's what we do structurally with Coupa Metigla, which is one a little bit well known in the Ploiești area. But the real last one, and you can call it CSR, yes or not. It's always a good question, but we did a sponsorship for the Association of the Mountains in Făgăraș. They were so passionate about building new shelters, refuge where the mountaineers can sleep over safely, because the actual state of in Romania in the shelters, I was quite impressed. It looked really from the Second World War, I found.
Never build that.
Yeah, probably it's possible. And they were so passionate that we got in touch with them directly, and they have the mission to every year, starting from now, to build like on 10 places in the mountains in the region of Făgăraș, if I'm not wrong, shelters for the mountaineers. And yeah, we were part of them, and then yeah, for me it's a definition of smart covering. Simply passion, and also because we put integrated photovoltaics in it, which makes it even more smart covering. And then the simply passion, yeah, we have a passion for sport, we have a passion for health, and Metigla should be linked to something happy, to something passionate. And I think hiking up that mountain, then you need to have a passion.
It's not always easy, and those who listen or watch this podcast, they're contemplating, but I'm a brick and mortar company. I cannot put passion, I cannot put emotion into my products because I deliver, I'm just saying, reducing to the simplest, the screws, for example. What passion can I? If you search deep down, you will find passion. You can find, not just for the sake of finding an emotional link or an emotional angle, but really figure out what is you care about, and then make a linkage in the physical world, in the society you are in, and make an impact there. It's hard to find, but it's easy to say I don't have anything to link on an emotional level with our customers. And I think you do it quite well, and I'm really impressed about the number and the complexity and sometimes the simplicity, but also the passion when what you invest in supporting these CSR activities. I'm not saying because you are our guest in our podcast. That could be very easy, but I found passion part of your DNA, and not only in the business part, but also in the playing a good part in the society you are living in, and not only in Romania, but also in other countries.
Yeah, we are just human beings. That's simple.
Human beings who have multiple challenges. Let's take up another challenge from the list. Olivier.
I was about to ask Csaba why you don't choose a question that you was really interested, but I will ask the second one myself.
The second, from dust to destiny.
Yeah?
Okay.
Oh, the second question. Let's go for it.
No. Sorry.
No, fair enough.
It's okay.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Okay.
From dust to destiny.
You have no clue what's behind it?
No clue, no.
Olivier? Sorry, Philippe?
None of this subjects.
I never expected the automatization out of the question 5, to be honest.
Okay,
so we are...
Makes sense.
Okay.
We are just listening.
From dust to destiny, you already had a allusion about that you came to Romania in 94. Do I say it right?
94, second half of 94, yeah.
Yes. And then you made a clear stand in investing in a production facility in the Ceptura area 2001-2002.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Production unit in Prahova, Ceptura. My question is, what was the moment, your eureka moment, when you realized that you have to do this? And you would probably do in Ceptura, and if you already have seen the next 30 years in the development of the company, good. But I'm interested in your moment of realization when you felt that yes, it's a good thing. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think I have to answer
Yeah,
it because I was,
I was,
you
I
were
was
not.
there, but
No,
not there.
Shaba, I have to be careful because I have so many things I'm prepared to share with you, and I don't know if it's interesting for our listeners.
Try us.
But yeah, we were in '94 coming to Romania. We were involved at that time in industrial buildings. And this market grew up very quickly, unexpectedly, after our experience in Bulgaria, where it took a little bit before, but it was a hard time to get settled. In Romania, we were just on the right moment there, just happened to be. And very quickly, after a couple of years, 5 years, we decided, no, this is not possible. We cannot continue to bring all this material just from Belgium. It's just steel, it's just plates. And I think, we are enjoying this so much. We are lucky to have the opportunity to create a business which looks promising at that time, and we should bring added value. And at that time, we started just from a greenfield with own funds, because we are one of the companies, European funds. We never applied for it, and when we did, we just were not with the right criteria there. So what we did with own funds, with passion again, and we started in Chiptura, but I don't think this is the question. We were settled down first in the Neamt area. It was very hard for us to travel every time when we were traveling and visiting our company to make this long travel to Piatra. And then we decided to have a production closer to Bucharest. And finally, with at that moment, the mine situation where all the mines were closed. Cheptura is one of the mine area, which was the closest.
Now it's a wine area also.
Now it's a wine area, but that was it. It was a mine, and just at that time when we took the decision to have a greenfield and to produce here in Romania, there were incentives in the mine area, and we did choose the closest
Reconversion and everything.
one to Bucharest. That's the origin of our location.
Yeah. Olivier, this is another question probably for Philippe.
Probably.
After you made the decision and you started the first steps, were there any moments when you had second doubts and maybe we should call it off? Or let's think again. I'm not suggesting that you had, I'm asking if you
No, we never had it. Again, the market was very promising, and we were in a flow. And we were very convicted, and we had the funds saved in order to do it. So that's always a big difference when you have to look for funds and where you have to reimburse them within a very, very fixed pattern. We had the luxury that we saved a budget together, and that we were mentally prepared to put it in. When we succeed, okay. If we shouldn't succeed, we would not collapse. Our industry wouldn't, our business wouldn't collapse. But we never thought that far. We are looking positive in general. We got it from our father, who was with 6 children, although they were in hard times, but always it was going after rain, sunshine is coming. And so, we have the same ingredients, that we are looking positively to the future. And when you start an enterprise, at a certain time you are along the swimming pool, you don't know how to swim, and you say, yes, I start to jump, and then you will find a way to swim to the other side of your swimming pool. And that's a little bit the story and the inputs and the type of person we are from nature, just nature, nothing more.
23 years fast forward, Olivier. Now this is a question for you. On the same topic, I found. I know that you are involved in certain and important parts in Metigla. You're doing development, finding new ways to develop the company. I hope my question will not make a conflict with your father. Now you understand Metigla pretty well. and you have also a nice and important professional experience in other places in the world. If you could go back in past, in whatever moment in the Metigla journey from 2001, 2002, and you would have a magic wand to change something, nobody will know that you have changed it. Would you change something now to have a better position, result, whatever now? From a younger perspective.
But it's very easy to say what you can change if you're there already, and you can go to the back. So Metigla is what it is at the moment, and you can be very proud on saying like there is a beautiful company. It has been 23 years every year rentable, which is quite unique. It's still in Romania. We are still premium market leader, and we are who we are at the moment. We have a team, and I said already very young, 10 years of experience. We are a family, and it's what it is right now. And the nice part is that after 10 months of internship that I did together with my brother, however, that we had the opportunity to make a scan from how it is now and to see together with the experience of my father, but also with the experience of the management team there, and actually of all the 100 people, to see how we see the future together. And now we start to match each other, how it was in the past and we see where we can improve to go to the future, and to be more future ready. And but you can always do better in the past, good reflection to learn from the past to make it better in the future. And I think that's what we did over the last 2 years, and definitely the first year when I started, exactly 1 year ago.
I like that your answer was direct and instant. So you had no that's really thinking what you're thinking, and you're also feeling, and it's good. Company who forgets his past, he never go next step for sure, because that's life. You build on what you build, not starting from scratch from every day. However, I just had the
Csaba, you cannot live from the past. No. It's good to look at it, but the world is changing so fast. So to have and the energy and the spirit to move forward, if you don't have this in a company, it's very short term that you are still on the market. So and I just wanted to refer that it's their project now. It's not mine anymore. Also from their brothers and so on. And we give a certain foundation, but you have to build on this foundation to stay always on that part. It's so they have to get these challenges. They have to get their vision. They have to get their input, their soul, their interest in it, because market is changing so fast that you have no time to sit down and to say, oh, let's sit here 5 years and we will see what's happening. I mean, I'm so convicted wherever you are. But
absolutely. You are familiar with the concept of the black swan? The black swan, that everything changing situation which nobody expects to come, but it comes like a pandemic. Pandemia, nobody was expecting, well, depends who you're asking, but it changed dramatically, at least for a short period of time, and also accelerated the adaptation of automatization, intelligence, and so on and so on. And there are still things which are with us from that. I'm glad that I can say it from that period. I hope it never comes back. But I had a podcast with Mr. Cătălin, who has a very nice project. It's called I Love Failure. So instead of putting on the stage people who are talking about how successful and well they have done in their lives, they are coming up and saying, I screwed up here, and this is what I learned from it. So that's the concept of the I Love Failure. And he was telling to me that, yes, we are optimistic. We think of the future with a yes, we can do. Not always how, but we will find a way how, as you were saying, we jump in the water and we just start swimming. We'll see where we get there. He was also saying that nevertheless, we have 3, 4, 5 worst case scenarios, what could happen, and we challenge ourselves to prepare for that, not picking the bad things from the future, but making sure that we don't forget that some things can happen, and are we prepared for that? What happens if, I don't know, competitor comes in, another pandemic comes in their case, they're organizing events. Are you having also this worst case scenario strategies in your company? Do you prepare for the unexpected and unwanted from the future?
If you ask me, I'm not. I have a lot of trust in the future, and if something comes up, then we will. We have just to have the ability to change and to react on it, and then to see how we react on it, and then to be as quick as possible to be proactive on new things and on challenges that pop up. But if you start to have like a plan B or a secondary agenda, let's say, then I think you will lose your focus and your passion for your plan A.
That's also a good call. Philippe?
Yeah, I mean, in our environment, what we did were projects. We always started projects which, at the end of the day, were reachable. So if it would fail, then of course the plan B, that okay, we drop it and we continue what we have. Now, I don't like to spend we reflect a lot before we do something, but to spend time on getting all the worst scenarios, I think for me it's not the right mindsetting. If you already have the very critical view on things, to go and to spend still time on worst case scenarios, when we see not too far from here the war going on, what we regret drastically, what we find terrible. But I don't want to start to think if a war scenario would come here. A human being is a survivor from nature, and we will see from there. But on the other hand, to have the necessary preventions against fire that could occur in your factory, to make sure that we follow the rules, making sure that we have the education, those are things. But to continue and to go deeper and deeper and deeper in all the worst case scenarios, I don't want to be part of that part. Yeah.
Thank you for your answers, gentlemen. And that's probably there are contexts and context for each company, each situation, based or probably also on the different moment of the development of the company or the market is in it. We are talking about construction business, which is a very it can contract pretty fast, but not that incredibly fast changing environment, and that's good because we're talking about serious investments and serious preparation for any kind of investment, building or residential or industrial. Gentlemen, shall we find a third topic?
You are the moderator, Shava.
Then I give you the choice to find
one more. Still one more. And only you choose, because the second one it was not your choice. In fact,
I go for the new compass.
Oh, thank you. Because honestly, I was thinking, if they don't choose the new compass, then I will add the fourth one. But the fourth one is actually 3+1. So I am coming out from the format. Like, I don't care. I will ask them the ninth one. The ninth one has nothing to do with any historical moments from your company, any quote made by any company representative. But it's a question. And the question is that, and I think both of you can join answering this question. If you could change one thing about the industry you are operating in, what would it be and why? And again, you can be the silent doer. Nobody will know that you made a change. Just in your industry. What would be that change?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, and I don't want to
or to improve something, not necessarily change.
Yeah, I think the respect of the whole legislation and regulation about quality of certain products, if there would be more uniformity and more transparency and more honesty a little bit about it, I think it would be beneficial to, at the end of the day, the end user. And yeah, I don't know if my answer is clear, but that's what I would like. And I think it would be for the benefit of the end user. It would be for the benefit of the country.
How far are we from this good thing, or from 1 to 10 at the moment?
Rama, you are asking me difficult questions, and it's a very
Challenging questions to have
it's difficult.
contentful.
Difficult. It's our nature. We are coming from our origins are not Mediterranean, so we are coming more from the north, and I think that's where we have this big differences. And I know legislation, regulations is sometimes hard to meet and to follow. But at the end of the day, I think it helps to have more uniform, also competition, if we talk about that, and also at the benefits of the country and of the persons.
Olivier, what would you change or improve?
I think I can better say it, and I have very limited experience that I still not yet
We'll
developed.
talk about this in another podcast then.
Yeah,
then we have a deal.
5 years more or
5
less,
years. All right.
but we can keep each other up to date.
If you still want to add a fourth topic from this list, of course, I will give you the full list after the podcast to see what you missed maybe as another options to discuss. Thank you for your openness and your direct natural way of discussing this. Sometimes, as you said, Philippe, difficult questions, but we are here to discover things which we do not know yet about Metigla, not what we already know about Metigla and your mindset. And I think I learned a lot from you, and all our listeners or viewers can also discover you better throughout these topics we discussed. In the first part, when we aimed to discover more about Metigla. Second part of the podcast, it's a focus on each one of you. So you had the homework in the brackets, of course, of thinking of an aha moment, of the moment when you realized something, when something ticked, something and had a great impact on your life, your family life, if you wish that, or on your business mindset, business conduct. Whoever wants to start, and there's a trick. I ask you not to discuss this aha moment, so it should be a discovery moment also for the two of you. So who wants to start first?
I will. I think I don't know if you. I go a little bit back, but I'm not so old, but a little bit. I found it an interesting thing, and I always have I think each person in their life have 2-3 persons that really. I'm only 31, but 2-3 persons that actually changed or gave a twist to your life. And I think I was 21 years old, and I think you will very much remember it. But I was doing an internship in Paris in a headhunter company, and I had only 3 colleagues, but one very inspiring woman. She trained me, let's say. I did social work, and part of it was human resources recruitment. And I needed to select headhunting profiles, so more executive profiles or business developers, mainly business developers. And was screening the CVs and the CVs and the CVs. And I was really tired of studying, and I liked my job, and I liked the thing. And I liked also the candidates. I was very interesting, but honestly interesting, not just to give them to, let's say, oh, here's the company, please take the job. No, I was honestly interesting. And then that lady said in one point, because I was convinced that I would stop after my bachelor, and she said, do you like the job? You would apply for the job that they're applying for. I was like, yeah, I'm very inspired. I'm inspired about that company, and I'm inspired it was a business unit manager, but inspired. Did you recruit someone or someone on the list with a bachelor, or had they all a master or more degrees? And there I made the change to full go for my master, and I realized this type of positions I would like to do, or this time not positions, this job, this content, this type of job, and that gave me the extra push to to challenge myself a little bit more in from social work, let's say, to management. It's called. It's a little bit different. And yeah, that gave me a completely other mindset about myself. She gave me the self-confidence that I should just try it, should jump in the water and just go for it. And by then, that's actually the statement she made, and she did not make more words. And I think my parents definitely would always support me to do a master, but the more parents say, the less you want to do it. And yeah, that I think that was really my moment that I started a little bit like knowing what I want.
And
that makes me a little bit like master a good experience there to go to abroad in Central America, and then another switching, but it's another aha moment. Change of job, did business development, don't know a lot about finance. Should I jump for it? I know my dad always said it would be a good experience. Boring, no, I don't want to challenge me again. And then again, another person in my life where I had a talk to that confronted me again with something, and then I jumped again in the water, and then that makes me who I am here, which is not at all perfect, but I know where I come from and I know what I want due to, and these are two, there's another third person on the way.
People play important role in your life, I understand, and you listen to them, thanks God, huh? Because sometimes people are there, say things to you, but you don't listen, you don't have ears for that. But the idea is there, the good.
That's a property.
Yeah, it's a property to be, and to follow up, because, yeah, it's important. Yeah, you find it important, but sometimes you just, it's too complicated. Yeah, or I don't have the skills to do it.
Certain moments you have those. I think everybody in a certain way or certain moment doubt about himself.
Sometimes the universe talks to you, and it's a good idea to listen to it. Sometimes.
It's hard.
It's hard.
Yeah, but
because it's hard to, when you have two good ideas coming to your life. I found that in my life sometimes happening that when I was struggling or thinking of something, and then a message comes in either with a talk or an information or something, and that's like a message. Let's put it broadly, a message. But sometimes there are two messages which are quite the opposite.
In conflict.
So, but I think that's the human nature. We have the liberty to choose.
Aren't we sometimes too having too much ignorance for the messages around us that we even don't want to listen?
I do not have this answer. Thank you, Olivier, for sharing your inspiring moments. I learned a lot from every guest, and you inspired me to just move further away from my comfort zone in many aspects. I should have my driving license. Yes.
Oh, not yet?
No.
We are ready.
No. Yeah. Philippe.
Yeah, Shaba is as you demanded, we didn't speak about it. Huh?
I recommend it. You made the choice not to talk. I recommend it.
I made a choice not to talk. But of course, my period where I have to compare with is much longer. And so lucky enough, I had many aha moments. Huh? But in general, and it's a little bit in line with what Olivier said, and it's not in the beginning. I wrote a couple of them down, but by listening to him, I was one of my moments, but it's not a moment, but it's general, is that, I was coming from an economical environment, sales, and also an economical education. But then with the job, starting with my brother quite from zero, that more and more we were employing people, and where I really started to get where in the beginning it was a sales, you got a high moment, hey, I got the order, whatever, which always still is fun today. But I didn't... by hiring people, by being inspired by them, by seeing to the potentialities, and because when you recruit, you are looking for potentialities. And the moment that I see and I saw and I could experience that they were growing and that they were developing themselves, they were always my aha moments in this period. And I never expect that to be, for me, bring me so much satisfaction in my professional life, being commercially looking for economics, cost savings, etc. By being, we come back to the human values that we were. It brings a lot of aha moments. But for the rest, one is a big moment, and then in my life, it's the fall of the Iron Wall. For me, it's one of the highlights of my. I was at that time.
What you have realized when this happened? What made you think of it? What
this would never happen to us. So we got educated in the western part in Belgium, as I said, and we were learning geography, and we had a European map, and France was in blue and Germany in red, and then all these things. And then there was a really big white spot, all the Eastern countries. The only city that I remember was Leipzig at that time, because there were Leipziger Messe, I don't know why, but that's, and in a couple of weeks, from my experience, certainly when the train going over the border to Vienna from Budapest, where at once there was the realization this wall is falling down, which we thought never, it would always be an environment that we never would be acquainted to, we never would experience these people, we were not interested, sorry for that. And due to the business we were in, we were very quickly attracted to this area, because what do you need if you want to develop an economy? You need industrial buildings. So we were really at the first stage of the development of a country. And we were involved with so many interesting people, and certainly inclusive in Romania, people with lots of expectations at that time when the wall was falling, but also with so impressed by people who got quite educated at that time, who learned French, who learned English by own means, by own interests, not because they were obliged to. Those were very nice and very marking moments in my life. This is a very important one.
Thank you for sharing.
I don't know if this is relevant, but it's my moment.
It's nice to hear it. And when you were talking about your aha moments, either way, you have a very light face, but your eyes were shining more because you were living those moments when you were talking about them. I would challenge you a little bit more. You were probably having some other aha moments, but you decided not to follow through. And now, I'm not saying if you had, but I'm asking if you had. And now you feel a little bit, sorry, I should have done that. Are there any moments what you can recall and you are willing to share with us? I should have done that. Nevertheless, it was there, the opportunity.
You asked us by traveling now from Cheptura to the studio. I was thinking a little bit. I asked also Olivier, because we like to speak together, and to give us some reflection time. And I said, one of my moments, if tomorrow I would start over again, I had the opportunity to discover the Eastern countries. And it's not because I'm sitting here in a Romanian studio, but it's really, I mean it. But of course, you can regret many things, but it doesn't bring anything to regret things. Again, I'm a relatively critical person, so I'm always trying, what can I do better next time? So that honestly, I don't have a moment that I should say, look, if I would have been in the US, then I could have done this and I could have done that. Not really, okay. I live my life and I'm satisfied.
to do
And and I like to continue as much as I can.
And that is part, I was expecting this, not so many regrets to be presented live now by you. Also from the fact that you said that you are not strategizing A, B, C, D, E, the future. What comes, of course, you make the necessary preparation to prevent non things, such as you mentioned fire in the factory, for example, or worker safety and mental, physically the same. But also it's important to just do it, and you act, as you Olivier mentioned, to have the flexibility to adapt fast. And that also comes with a constant eye on the environment, because you cannot react on something if you don't see it. So that's meaning, objects in the mirror are closer than they look. Huh? It's written on every mirror on a car, for example. Sometimes the future is closer than we think. Sometimes we are in our cocoon, and that is not going to happen, not for us, not in our business, not in my area, not in my country, not in my life, not under my watch. Yeah.
Yeah, but
again, it comes and goes. I don't know.
Yeah, if I start to regret sometimes, then but yeah, I was not so often at home. I was lucky that I was all the weekends almost, but for the rest I was a long way, and my wife was very strong in handling. We have 4 children, and to take that part over.
And wasn't easy though. Wasn't easy, I guess.
And for sure it wasn't easy.
For her to do it and for you to leave.
Yeah, but we had agreements. I mean, you can start to regret. I have given my love to my children in my way, but with little presence. Yeah, but yeah, it is like that. But you can. It's a conflict situation. I don't know if you speak about what you regret, but yeah, you can make a regret of it. I really am happy that my wife compensated very well and is a strong person, a personality to be able also to handle that independently. But voila,
nice son who's clever, intelligent. He had his hormones and he followed through. So I think you and your wife together in this situation made a good job.
Well, when do you do a good job?
Yeah,
I mean, that's for me, that's another question. Discussion. Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for your aha moments. If you, tomorrow, for example, you wake up and under the shower, you figure out another aha moment, you're always welcome here in the iTalks podcast, in the Life Hero or the Business Champion version. We are reaching the third part of our podcast when I ask you to, not to teach us, because it's a pretty big word, to give your 50 cents on different situations. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 situations. Of course, not all of them we will discuss. We will probably choose 2 or 3, depends on the depth of your response. I highlighted with, Olivier is looking at my screen, I highlighted with yellow some of them which are my favorite. So therefore, I would ask the second one. It's a hypothetical situation, but not blown out from reality. It's a possible situation in every business owner case. So I'm asking to give your 50 cents, you give your opinion about what to do. Okay, it is context-based. Every company has its own environment, context, heritage, resources, and so on. So it's not going to be applicable 100%, so nobody should follow blindly what you will say. But it's an opinion or an angle of viewing that situation or dealing with that situation. And the first one, which I would like to discuss with you, is navigating market saturation, the blue ocean strategy. Meaning, you operate in an extremely saturated market. Let's pretend that it's the situation of a company. So you are operating in an extremely saturated market. Your profits are steady but not growing. How do you pivot your strategy to explore new uncontested market spaces, or should you pivot? That's the question. So your market is kind of full. It is what it is. Your margins and profits are going down or not growing. Without growth, you cannot make future investments. We already know that. You are doomed to that. Should you pivot? And if so, how or what should be your best strategy? You go to the red ocean or you stick to the blue ocean? Or the other way around, sorry. From the red ocean, you go to the blue ocean.
I had a very nice work experience before joining Metigla. It's I worked 3 years in the restructuring from mid-sized companies, like medium-sized companies, 5 up to 100 million euros, owners that are very driven or second generation or different aspects. And you saw there sometimes people with or I'm referring to like the steady, but the moment the company goes okay, people don't want to listen to others because you think you're doing well. But I think in every company, how perfect you are, it's always interesting and good to pivot. If it's going very well, or if it's going bad, you have to. So you will be pushed, and then it's easier to listen to someone because you're in a stressed situation. But often with a stable rentability, I learned there, I had the opportunity to also be there, the third person, be very inspired to that person. And I had the opportunity to be inside 50 companies, to just from the outside, and where I really learned there, like, don't be blind. And also when a person tried to say you something, it's not with a bad intention. I have the confidence that a person that tells you something, it will be never with a bad intention. However, it can come over like that, but it will be not. Like a human being is not to hurt someone else. And what I want to say about, I think it's always relevant to pivot. If you're in a good situation or a bad situation, to have your natural reflection and self reflection, let's call it reflection. I don't find the word directly, like, and to also have sometimes someone else like watching to it with a good opinion and a good experience, etc. It's not just someone that, but sometimes often when someone you met, like, to be open, and I think pivoting is always a good. You don't need to do it too much, because when you believe in something, you need to also go for it and give it some time and certain time to believe in it and to achieve it. But when it's just stable, then reflect on what the market brings, and if it's a good market, not saturated market, if business goes good, still keep having your natural self-reflection.
Sometimes it's hard to make these changes because why to change something which is working or kind of working? Do I need more of that? And I know that Metigla did 2 changes, important changes. One of was the rebranding, and that's impacted the company's image. Not that's the shallow part, yeah. But you also changed name, so that's probably sometimes name change comes with if it's not done correctly, with some loss in the brand recognition, brand loyalty of the customers. But I don't want to focus on this. But you also changed something recently. You enlarged your market. You went into a new market also, Metigla, adding the solar roof panels, right? Was that a natural thing you did because you saw that coming in? Or, of course, it's normal solar power. It's probably one of the most important energy generation in the future, and you come up with a very nice and aesthetic and efficient solution for that. But is that was that a natural decision for you, or you made a conscious? How can I have more market, carve out for Metigla a different market also, Philippe, by adding this product?
Well, I think that Olivier will be able to
Okay,
answer
then
that
Olivier.
part better than me because, yeah, I let him answer it.
Also a good question, Chava. I think we are a roofing company. We have to have self-reflection, and you see that green energy, solar panels are all around, and solar panels, the base is roof, which means that the time we investigate with our development to see nice aesthetic roofs, you will cover it with ugly solar panels. But it's a trend, and during our study that we are making, like, okay, a new tile, what it will bring, solar panels will come on top, and during that, even the European law also obliged us that in 2027 all the public buildings, and in 2029. So it was like all the Metigla roofs gonna be ugly sooner or later, because we want pretty roofs. It's not just a roof; it covers your well-being, but aesthetics is always important for a person. And there we had some discussions. We did a market research, and it was like, yeah, how we can be up front there. Like I think Metigla, it was the second metal tile line in Romania. Now I think it's there are more than 300 metal tile lines. We were the first rainwater producer, and so on and so on. We were always one of the upfront, and now it's in a natural identity, like to what's gonna come in the market. And yeah, there we investigated, and we are not solar panel producers. We don't know anything about solar panels, so
You know quite many things now.
now a bit more, but the real essence of solar panels, the solar cells change so fast that we said, okay, do we need to do it ourselves? It's going to be hard. We are a metal company. We know a lot about metal and how to form it. I think, and then we found what fits to our identity: a roof material, aesthetic that we know already for a long time, and we found it with an integrated photovoltaic, which fits perfectly in our identity to smart covering, simply passion, but also, and we did not want to sacrifice the aesthetics of a roof. So we will not be a solar panel trader. Mm-hmm. That's not our next step. We need to have a roof, and I think based on a certain market study there, I had my hardest clients to convince, and that was my father, to convince that this is the right way. And is it the right way? I don't know. We will see. But we do believe that this is a product that fits in our identity.
For sure, it's a nice way, and it's a sustainable way of supporting life on Earth and in the long run also. So you're not only helping yourself to be a market leader in that part and to attract more customers, probably, or the same customer for different projects, yeah. But also you're helping the society and the humanity to live on a better way and to get energy cheaper and more aesthetically at the same time. Yeah. So kudos for that. All right, let's find another topic. Yes. Customer versus stakeholder. Question is, your most loyal customer base demands an environmental friendly product, but making the switch would reduce your profit margin and disappoint shareholders. What's your move?
You have to repeat the question for me.
Your most loyal customer demands an environmental friendly product, but making the switch would reduce your profit margin and disappoint shareholders. Let's imagine that the company has shareholders, multiple, or it's publicly listed, for example. What would you recommend for that company? Follow shareholders or the market?
Yeah, Shaba, I have to answer you straightforward.
Please.
Because, and it's an unexpected question again, but basically shareholders are important, but they are not the most important part of a company, in my perspective. So I always have been acting in function of the company, what's important for the company and all what's around it. So, and certainly the colleagues and the people who are employed and the management are really part. So for me, this is of prime importance compared to the revenues or the income. Of course, economically, you have to be sustainable, you have to be consequent, and you have to be you must be self-sufficient. But I don't know if I'm answering the question the way you want it, but for me, the shareholders are important. They have to give to the company the confidence, but the essence is that they put money in a company, and the company has to be sustainable today, tomorrow, next week, and so on. So I think I answered you the question. If this is important for the company and temporary or necessary for a certain period, the shareholder financially will be not the first rewarded, but the company will be rewarded by having a new activity, by looking for a future where you believe in it as a manager, where you believe as a responsible person of the operational part of this company. That's for me of prime importance.
There's no correct or right answer, Philippe. So thank you for your thoughts. Sometimes it's hard to choose between a nice to have new thing or we have to have a new thing. How you make a decision? Or sometimes it's hard to not to run after the next shiny object. How we decide that, okay, yes, market, I'm giving you time to think. Market ask for it. Is it in our DNA to do it? Yes, no, or is it within our reach to do it? Do we have the skills to do it, resources to do it? Should we do it? Is it a nice thing to have, or let's postpone thing to have?
Yeah.
I leave it up to you.
Yeah. Look, my generation, as I said, we were very critical. It's the type of person I am and we are. But yeah, for us, it's a lot at the end of the day are gut feelings. And I feel that today it has to be sustained more by figures. And that's also
data-driven decision making.
Yeah, it's very important. And that's certainly the added value and the obligation of the future generation, the future companies to have better sustainable. We were in a period where you got a gut feeling, where you got audacity, where you got agility, and you got enthusiasm, and we go for it. So today, I think it has to be, because also what you do has a shorter term validity or a shorter term future. If I take the example of a new model of a car, let's not speak about combustion or electricity. I'm just speaking about the model, the rapidity that it's coming up. So everything is all related to a shorter term. So it has to be better sustained by figures, by market studies at the end. But don't forget the gut feeling and the entrepreneurship still will be important if you want to do something and to reach something. So somewhere still you will have to go blindly, but you cannot do it anymore, in my perception, as we did it 30, 40 years ago.
We're also lacking a lot of data points to analyze and to...
Everybody is better informed.
Yes.
I mean,
and we have a lot of new KPIs and measurements. I'm glad that you mentioned coming back to your gut feeling and your human decision, because that's an arc throughout our podcast. I think we started from what makes difference, what makes the difference, what is not to forget, not to lose in our process. And I have the feeling that I had the chance to, and thank you for it, to discover more about Metigla, but not necessarily about the Metigla, or the machines or the processes or whatever. It's about the humans behind the scenes, the driving forces of what is behind this company. And I like what I see. So thank you for your thoughts, and we are at the end of this podcast. If you want to add something extra, you're welcome. I would like also to ask you if you want to identify or suggest the next guest, if you have anybody in your mind, in your friends, partners, suppliers.
You are coming with really unexpected questions.
It is a meaningful podcast.
Okay.
It's not about comfortable. It's about us to learn things or to discover things. And there's only one way to go out in the uncharted water.
And your question is,
if you
understanding better now the setup, if you think who could be a valuable candidate to be. Yeah, I think if we want to propose something, we have to think about it.
All right, then when you have that in your mind, just feel free whenever to come back to me. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a challenge, I understand. I hope it was a nice challenge. And
We're just an open discussion.
I'm still curious with the preparation and the stories behind the other questions.
I will send it to you. I will send it to you for sure. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for listening to us. I hope it was an interesting podcast for you, and you will have the curiosity to even learn more about Metigla, because there are more stories, as they said, Olivier said to us. There are different other landmarks or important moments in the company life which makes sense to learn about it. And if you want to make business with them, for sure you can find them on online and different channels. We are ITalks, different podcast, probably more challenging one, definitely. Our guest can sign up for that. I challenge you to be our listeners or watchers in the next podcast. Thank you.